Hello guys, I had a pretty bad day today and played at regionals in Frankfurt, and I thought I would just give you a small story time of what happened today and what the results are, kinda. So I woke up at like 6 a.m., then took a train to Frankfurt. Initially, I wanted to be at the venue at 9 a.m., but because of train delays and whatnot, I arrived in Frankfurt like 10 minutes after 9 a.m. And the first round was supposed to start at 10 a.m. Then the trams in Frankfurt were not driving as they were supposed to, so I had to walk to the venue 50 minutes. I had some medical kind of stuff. I don't want to be talking about it much more, but I got some medical issues and was really not feeling well that day. So I had already planned just to play round one, get my entry packs, and then drive home. Um, I eventually arrived at the venue just minutes before round one was supposed to start. But like every other big Yu-Gi-Oh tournament, round one only started like an hour after it was supposed to start. Then I played round one. I was playing my Deutsche, I forgot to add. I was playing my Deutsche against Sprite. Game one, he put up a board that I couldn't break. My hand was bad as well, so I conceded pretty quickly. It took like 3 minutes or whatever. Then game two, I went second. Unexpected, I know. He didn't expect it because it's unexpected. And I sphere moded him, I even did him. He couldn't do anything. He got kind of angry and was like, "Yeah, your sphere mode, it's not tournament legal, probably." And I told him, "Bruh, what the fuck are you telling? The sphere mode is 100% tournament legal. Like, it has some small scratches on the card itself. It doesn't have bent edges. It isn't bent itself. It really just has scratches on the card." And I told him, "Yeah, I'm not gonna buy a new card just because the card has some scratches on top of it." Then he was already very angry. We went to game three. He made me go second again because I kind of acted as if I was siding, was like just moving cards around in the siding time while he was siding, and he thought I sided back to going first or whatever, probably. I don't know. He made me go second again. I sphere moded him again. I even lead him again, but I didn't have much of a follow up. But it was still okay. Like, I could make a Baguska plus a fresh Sistart. Then Baguska's pretty decent against Sprite, but he tried to like special summon blue from his hand without controlling any monsters. I was like, what the fuck are you doing? Then he took that back. Then he special blue after controlling a monster. He was not low on life points, but lower than me in life points in game three. So he was probably just trying to not use his starter. Hmm, nice. Um, Then he used his starter, summoned like something from the deck, special blue from the hand, made elf, used elf to summon blue from the graveyard, tried to trigger blue under Baguska. Uh, Second time he cheated in that route, I was like, "Bruh, can you stop cheating?" And then he tried to use elf plus blue to make a unicorn, discard one to shuffle back Baguska, and first I was like, and then immediately after he did it, I was like, "You can't use elf as a link material the turn it's summoned." And then he was like, "Oh man, that's crazy. I did not know that." Yeah, Sprite player not knowing that you can't use elf on summon. Yeah, 100%. Totally not, totally an accident and not cheating against me. Then he got like really angry and didn't want to sign the slip. He was like, "Oh yeah, only you sign the slip. I don't want to sign the slip." And two people have to sign the slip every single time. So I signed the slip, put it in the box, and then some judge told me, "Oh yeah, two people have to sign the slip. Your opponent was talking nonsense to you." And then I waited at the stage. If a judge comes to me and maybe asks me about my match, because I just I was being told by a judge that I would probably be called for, that I should go to the stage, and that they would call my opponent as well from round one, and that we would talk who really won that round, because not both people signed the slip, but in the end it didn't happen. And then round two happened. I saw in the matchups already a familiar name. I saw the guy who won the German Nationals this year that I attended as well, with like Therion, Sprite, what am I talking? Therion, Synchro, good stuff. Paul Heinemann or whatever. No idea. I'll put it up on screen. Yeah, anyway, the table was already full, and I thought, yeah, fingers crossed, maybe I don't have to play against that guy. And I had to play against that guy because, like, there was another person called Alex at the table, and first he thought he would play against him, and then he was quite happy that he could leave the table and play against somebody else. So I was playing against him. I told him, ha ha ha, XD, I haven't played against anybody who I've seen a deck profile from yet, ha ha ha. And yeah, he was understanding that I was nervous, but he also suspected me of like cheating or whatever, because he was saying quite loudly that I should please look him, like he was saying, please look me in the eye while you are shuffling. And I was pal shuffling like this, like it doesn't change anything how I place the cards. I'm just like left, a little less left, a little more right, right, less, like place the cards in the same order, like, even if I don't look you in the face. And then I felt weird because he like said it in a weird tone, and I was like really stressed, made big misplays. Like he had Huffness in game one. I could have gotten a Keldo to the graveyard before he summoned Huffness, but I didn't. Then uh, I made a Tia while not having any Madolcha cards in the graveyard, and then I couldn't use Tia to shuffle back the monster he summoned of Huffness because can't use TRF, should have just ended on Teacher, but he made a 3k Tier Elements monster already, so he could have just swung over Teacher. I didn't really have anything I could do. Like I had a ticket, had drawn into the ticket. It was really a shame because I could have just made Teacher, Detach, Teacher, shuffle back, trigger ticket, summon Hootcake, summon Angeli, tribute itself, summon Hootcake, yeah, summon Messengelato and whatever. You know the default Madolche combos. But because I tried to shuffle back his stuff, or like I had initially planned to shuffle back his stuff and then trigger ticket, but I couldn't shuffle anything back, so I couldn't trigger ticket. And I was just sitting on some really bad board because if he swings over the Xyz, it doesn't even shuffle itself back and doesn't trigger ticket. And I lost round one. Round two, I went first again. I got pretty scared, so I made Dweller with like 3 cards in hand for follow up. He could still play somewhat. He got kind of angered at the Dweller, but I couldn't really read his emotions. I think he was like he was talking with the guy on the table next to us. Oh man, your opponent will probably side in shifters against you, XD. And I was not playing shifter in main or side deck because it's like so many decks are just good because they can play under shifter, and I got a good graveyard deck matchup already, so was not playing shifter. Then I made a Dweller. He was like, oh, Dweller. Then he could still do somewhat of a combo. He had a pretty good hand. Like for example, he had Desires twice in his opening hand in game 1 and 2, and it drew him into pretty good cards. Like it drew him into a instant fusion, for example, twice. So he could make a Kid Colors without even needing to use the graveyard. It's super fun, the deck Telements. I think banning Mystic Mine was the right choice and not really hitting Telements. Loving the banless Konami. Anyway, I lost that match 0-2, but in the end I was like, it was somewhat of a pro player because he has already got some wins in his pockets. So I was like, 1-1, that's still fine. Basically 0-0 if you only count the matches I played against non-pros. Then I played game 3. Game 3 was kind of weird because like I went first against zombie good stuff, and because as I said I got a good graveyard deck matchup, I beat zombies pretty easily in game 1. Game 2 he ended on Baron plus Omega plus Setback Row plus Zombie World plus Unizombie. I had 2 Evenlies plus Petting, Keldo, and like some Vernalizer in my hand, and last card I don't know. I do like end main. He doesn't do Omega, and I was already confused because like he could have ripped an evenly out of my hand and just negated the other one with a Baron. I don't know why he didn't do the hand loop. Then battle phase. I do evenly. He negates the first one. I do evenly. He keeps everything on field except the set back row. He has a Banshee in graveyard, and I'm already like 100% that's a rivalry. I can summon two monsters in the same chain, so he can like do Banshee before. So that was nice. And I ended on two monsters on field. He has no cards in hand. Draws a Unizombie for turn. Normal's Unizombie, Unizombie F. Foolish is from the deck. Since something like Mezuki, like the one you can banish from the graveyard to special any zombie from the graveyard. I Keldo on Mezuki F. Shuffle back target plus I think plus Mezuki. I don't know. He had it in Spanish, so it didn't say that Mezuki would banish itself for cost. Like it was really weird. It's that one zombie monster that banished itself from the graveyard to special a zombie from the graveyard, but it didn't have a semicolon. So he was like, yeah, it doesn't banish for cost. So I shuffled back that zombie plus the target plus like something else, and then I didn't realize that he has a synchro monster in the graveyard that floats as well if a zombie is destroyed by battle. He crashes with Unizombie into a petting, Unizombie dies, special spec the monster from his graveyard, the zombie monster has a foolish effect as well, just foolish is whatever he wanted to foolish before again, and does everything as normal. Then I was able to kind of stall because I had hopes to draw another evenly, but I didn't. And I didn't have any Twin Twisters in my side deck as well, in my main deck as well that I sided in, because I thought, yeah, I go second, but he's just gonna end on like synchro, good stuff, whatever. So wasn't prepared for that. Then game 3 or rather game 2 we finished with 5 minutes left. I did some unsiding but didn't side much because I already told him I'll try to hurry up because I don't want to cowboy you for game because that's ass. And yeah, then I had a pretty bad hand though. I had a Veiler that I didn't side out because, as I said, I just really just instantly went from game 2 end to game 3 start because I didn't want to play for time because people that play for time are ass and the time rules are really bad. So I started to draw my hand. So I have a Gamma, no, I have a Driver in my hand, I have a Veiler in my hand, I have a Petting in my hand, and I have a Keldo in my hand. And the last card was something like a Chateau, so it was that as well. Then I either got the choice to do a really long combo and make a draw, or I do a combo into freaking Cowboy, so I made Cowboy F, and there was like still time. Like we started the third round with barely 2 minutes left, and when I ended my turn, there was still 1 minute left. So he had time. I didn't play for time or anything. I just really quickly made summon petting, normal summon, make Cowboy, detach, Cowboy F. I hate myself for doing that, but do I want to get a draw? And then he had quite much time because, as I said, I played really quickly. But I Veilered his normal summon, then he couldn't do anything, and he just said, "Oh yeah, my hand is bad, can't do anything." Yeah, and I won against him. So I was 2-1 at that point because my phone had died because it was pretty cold outside. I had to sell some cards to buy a train ticket to ride home. Initially I got like a voucher on my phone that says like I can save 25% on any train ticket I buy but I couldn't show that if a train conductor comes in, so I had to buy a ticket for the full price, which is like $10. Like I paid like $9.50 in the end, so I had to sell cards that were worth at least around $10. Sold cards for worth like at least $100, I think, and got like $85 for it. Yeah, I was able to sell some cards where I thought they would just be worth pennies, but as the buyer told me, they are really are cards that people are searching far and wide for Edison format, that were just Blackwing commons from like 2008 or whatever, no idea from when they were. But like I was able to sell a bunch of Blackwing commons for some big bucks, got 85 bucks in the end. So I was able to buy a train ticket when I was gonna ride home. But the buying process took quite some time because there was another person before me at the booth where they were buying cards. So I had to wait for that person to finish. Then the guy that was looking at my cards had to look through my whole binder, was having to look up all the prices on Card Market, and then it was being screamed, "Oh yeah, round two matchups are out," and then 10 seconds later, "Oh, round two has already started." Then I was like, oh man, I have to pack my things together. I don't even know if he finished the calculations or calculated right, because I didn't have time to check. I might have even given him cards that were like worth way more, and in the end I got way less that I should have gotten. I just hope that that wasn't the case. Went inside. Obviously the round hadn't started yet, but also the paper pairings weren't out. Because my phone had died, I had to wait a bit. Then I laid my things on the table, was just sitting down, and then somebody offered me to check my pairings. He checked my pairings for me. I went to the table, and when I arrived at the table, my opponent was already, "Oh yeah, can you give me a deck? They probably start the round soon." And there was the timer already showing up, so I agree that they probably would have started the round soon. And then they started the round. I gave him my deck because he wanted my deck to cut or whatever. I hadn't shuffled at that point yet. Gave him my deck. If this is the table, he was doing this with my deck, like, how many cards were you playing? I said 40. Then he was saying, "Oh, I think you got 37 cards." I'm like, what? That can't be right. Did I put 18 cards in my side deck? What the fuck? Then he does a judge call. I'm like, bruh, do you have to do this? Why are you rule chalking me? I really didn't mean to do this. And then a judge arrives. I'm like, yeah, give me a game loss or whatever. And he was like, yeah, because your opponent complained, I will have to give you a game loss. And round two you will start without using your side deck, and you can choose to go first or second. And then my opponent was like, yeah, now you have to show me all of your side deck. And I was like, what the fuck how are you telling me? And then he was really smug about having a free round one win. And I told the judge that I don't want to play against this guy because I'm there to play for fun, and I'm not there to like ruin other people's days. And the guy was like, yeah, then you will have to wait for the slip to be signed, and then you can leave the venue. And I was telling him, man, I'm not feeling good. As I said, I have some medical stuff where I was not feeling well, and I can maybe catch a tram if I leave now. Can I please just stand up? And then, no, you cannot stand up yet. And there was another judge at the table. The judge that arrived at the table first had left. Then I asked the other judge, yeah, can you just write down that I like insulted my opponent even though I didn't? And then he was like, yeah, haha, I could do that, but then you would probably get banned for like half a year or whatever. And I was like, oh man, wouldn't want that. So I waited for the slip to arrive. Then the slip arrived after 10 minutes, even though I had asked before the round had started, because like they resetted the round timer and stuff, because they started the round before they put up the paper pairings. So we had the judge call before the round even started. It was really fun. And then when I signed the slip, I was just like signing with an XD and told my opponent, yeah, I hope you have much success in the tournament, and I hope your other opponents will have as much fun against you as I did. Like saying stuff that I can still say against him, while obviously being offended at how he treated me. And then I left the venue because I signed the slip that I would drop. after I had a 2-1. Like, I dropped with a 2-1 result. I can't imagine ever doing that, but I dropped at a 2-1, and my only loss was against a guy who literally won a nationals that year. So I left the venue, checked my deck box, and I was like, fuck my life. Why did I put 18 cards in my side deck? And then I checked my side deck. Wait a second, there's no 18 cards in my side deck. There's literally 37 cards in my deck. Checked my deck, because I had made my deck list in the train when I was driving to the event. Then I had checked my deck list at the event. I had pile shuffled every single round. I had pile shuffled before like round 1, round 2, round 3. I had checked my deck every single time if it's the right number in the main and in the side deck. Every single time it was right. And then I thought, is there a card missing? And I checked, and my 3 Dark Ruler No Mores were missing. And then I was like, fuck my life. The guy stole 3 cards from me, then did a judge call and told the judges that I had only 37 cards in my deck. And I got pretty mad at that. Had to walk to Frankfurt main station because the trams were not driving as they were supposed to again, and I had missed the one train that I could have taken, but that I then missed because I had to wait for the slip to arrive. Because, oh yeah, that time both players had to sign the slip, but in round 1 it was perfectly fine when only one player signed the slip. I don't know, standards, I guess. Then I was pretty sad because I had never won a round 1 in a major event yet. Like, I had played in 2 remote YCS, a nationals and a YCS, and every single time I lost round 1. And a 2-1 is pretty good to build on. Like, you can still end on a, I don't know, it was 10 rounds. I could still technically could have gotten a 9-1, like crazy. But I dropped because the guy was just really ruining my day. He was really smug about it, and in the end I was just so pissed that I wasn't at the venue anymore, and that I couldn't tell him, oh man, can I please see your bag? Can I please see your deck box? Can I please maybe look under the table if you dropped the cards or whatever? But I was really angry. Then I arrived home, took some stuff because of my medical problems, and I started not feeling well on my way home. So I took a corona test, and I have corona. Yeah, I am corona positive, and now I have to isolate from my girlfriend because my girlfriend does not have corona. Yeah, and I got some really important, like really important things at work next week that are on Monday and Tuesday, so it's not even like I can not have corona anymore when the work things are, but like I'm missing those as well. And I thought I might just quit. At first I thought I might just quit Yu-Gi-Oh! In general. I was like, fuck my life. I'm so angry because, like, I in the end noticed that in round 3 the guy misplayed against me as well, like did some illegal plays against me. Round 1 the guy was just blatantly cheating and was accusing me of having a not tournament legal card while being called out for obviously cheating as well. Then round 2 I played against a really good guy, was intimidated, did some misplays, and he was playing tier elements. Really fun deck. Law of Halfness, really. More of that. And round 3 was fun, but I thought, winning in time is just doesn't feel nice, and round 4 was just horrible. And then I thought, most major events I went to went kind of the same. Like the first remote YCS I was at, I did really well because, like, it was my first big event. I got like 360th place, nearly got day 2 with a really scuffed Mystic Mind deck. Like, I was playing Foolish Burial Goods plus Metal Force Fusion as a draw engine at that point. It was really scuffed, but I still got like 360th place. That was really great. And from there on, it just went worse and worse, just with the power creep of the game and the new stuff that gets released. That's just completely stomping every other card that has been released so far, basically. And it's just weird that you can basically build decks only with cards that have been released in the last half year, where you don't even need old staples. Like, what does Tearlament need? Tearlament doesn't even main any staples. Like, Instant Fusion, Desires, Terraforming maybe. That's it. They don't need more. Maybe an Orange Light, but other than that, they can just literally play Ishizu Tearlaments and they don't need anything else. And it's just gonna be new, really, really, really oppressive deck gets released. Konami supports that deck because they want people to buy that deck. Konami hits anti-meta, Konami supports meta, Konami supports combo, Konami hits control, and it's just not fun, really. And first I thought about actually like deleting my YouTube channel because I was like really angry and really sad, and then I came to my senses and I was just like, haha, XD, would have been funny to actually insult the guy and then get a ban, because like then I wouldn't play at events for like some time, and it would probably be good for me because every single time I go to an event I just meet people like that. If you go to events, you should probably expect something like that as well. I pulled it up earlier. I saw a guy who got top 32 at Dortmund YCS. At least I think it was him. I'm like 99% sure. And he was, for example, because I finished round 2 pretty quickly, because I lost pretty quickly, he was, for example, really disgustingly playing for time, and I was just thinking to myself, oh man, I hate that guy so much. He was just, oh yeah, it's my turn. He was playing against Ritual Beasts. The Ritual Beasts player had one set, activated the set, just summoned another Ritual Beast from the deck. 0 negates. Tearlament's player has, I don't know, a bad hand as well, or it's just a bad pilot, I guess, because what's a bad hand in Tearlament's even? Tearlament's player is like, oh yeah, I mill a few, effect scatter shot. Then he has only like spells and traps in his hand that he could set. He doesn't even have a monster in his hand that where he could like activate an effect. Shuffles his hand. Shuffles his hand. Shuffles his hand. I'll put it up on screen. Who I think it was. Yeah, I'm 99% sure it was that guy. Shuffles his hand. Checks his own graveyard. Checks his own graveyard. The Ritual Beast player doesn't complain, even though obviously his opponent is playing for time. And then, oh man. Already when like the clock is at like 3 seconds, 2 seconds, 1 second. So he already started at 3 seconds. Oh man, it's time now. Whew, well, guess I won. It's such a shame. And I just really don't want to play with people like that. Just not like much. I really don't want to play with people like that at all. And I think I have met some really, really nice people by playing Yu-Gi-Oh! And by meeting people who share the common interest in Yu-Gi-Oh! But mostly I have just met people who have been not nice, who have been really unkind, who have been really tryhards that then think everyone is cheating and that actively try to cheat as well to get a win. Like, yes, I know I'm saying people who think everyone is cheating and I'm accusing other people of cheating, but like my opponent was literally like using Elf as link material, for example. Then in another game I got super polyed in game 3 for like, and he made Garuda with a Earth zombie because Zombie World was on the field, and a dark zombie. He made a Garuda. Like, is that a... No, it's not a valid target. Like, could have made... I think Mud Dragon, in the end he showed me his extra deck as well in the side deck. Like, he didn't have Mud Dragon in his extra deck, so I guess he made Garuda. Bruh, I'm feeling whenever I lose against somebody, I have to assume that they might have cheated because I'm playing against so many cheaters. whenever I'm winning, I'm like, fuck my life. Did I win in time again? Did I win just because disgusting amounts of hand traps were in my hand, or did I win because of like actively playing anti Tearlaments, because Tearlaments is such a good deck and you have to hard counter it to get at least some wins. I don't know. I'm really pissed. I got corona now. I can't see my girlfriend for the next days because she isolates in another room. I can't go to work next week. I have a giant headache. I'm really not feeling well, and I think this was probably my last official event. I have to be honest, and it's a shame. It's really a shame. I hate. I don't want to say I hate the Yu-Gi-Oh community in general, but I hate the mentality that so many people bring to the table. I'm always trying to talk with my opponent in like a friendly manner. I'm always trying to talk to my opponent and find a common ground and like do some small talk and whatnot. And so many times I just play against people who don't want to talk at all after you just destroyed one card that they control. Like, oh man, I got a monster you attacked over. Guess I'm not talking to you for the rest of the game anymore. And yeah, it's just really bad. Then if you sell cards, it's just, if you buy cards, they just get reprinted and they lose all their value unless you are like specifically checking new releases and you are really up to date on whatever. Like you have to actively sell your cards and buy new ones if you don't want to lose your value. It's dumb. Then, as I said, I sold cards that were worth like at least $110 on card market for 85. The guy told me they have to pay 1% tax on card market, and I guess they have to pay 19% sale tax in Germany, but that's 20%, and I sold probably cards that were worth like at least $120 for 85. And sometimes he was just making me offers where I didn't sell the cards at all. Like he was making me an offer for an Ecclesia that was selling for at least $8 on card market, and he was like, "Oh, I can give you $3.50 for that Ecclesia," or like for a really good looking Electromite that goes for like 11 to 14. I have no idea. He was like, "Oh man, I can give you 4 for 2 Electromites." Yeah, I feel like this game gets more and more just like what it was at one point. Like at one point, it's basically just like, I don't want to say a cash grab, but it's just the gamble with the packs and then a game around it, and it's basically the same again. Like I feel like between don't didn't play during that time, but I feel like during Edison format it probably wasn't that way. There's like super many strategies you can play, and now it's really just, hey, buy X deck. Your old cards are invaluable now. Oh, you want reprints? Guess we reprint your only valuable cards now, and we don't reprint cards that people actually need because they only have one print and like a set from 2008. And for example, you cannot get yourself something like a Galloping Gaia or whatever. Like there's so many weird cards that I just can't find, but I guess they just reprint Ash Blossom 4 times in a year because guess you had Ash Blossoms. They're worth not much anymore. Guess you had Bells, worth nothing anymore. How many Cosmic printings did we have in 2022? How many Lilith Lady of Lament printings did we have in the last year? And in the future as well. Like Traptrix deck has another printing as well. I think it's just, I bought Lilith for $2, and now it's like 2 cents. I bought Cosmic for $1, and now it's like 2 cents. I bought Fafnir for like $14, and now it's like 2 cents. Like, yes, there are some cards that keep value, but like, it's really just sell new cards. Oh, and also it's a game. Sell new cards. Also it's a game. And the game is just, I like playing casually, but competitively I would love to play if it was just like, I don't know, somewhat like Master Duel where you don't have a chat, because like if you chat with your opponent, it's just gonna be ass. And then things like literally my opponent stealing cards from me, calling a judge, I get a major warning, and I only realize it after the game. Like, man, why are people so degenerate? Why? I hate this. Anyway, I've been ranting for way too long. I hope you have nice holidays. I hope for myself that I get well soon as well, so that I can maybe celebrate Christmas with like my family, but I don't know yet. We'll see you in the next video, I guess.